This is my Great-Grandma Tingey's Rocky Road Fudge. For our first step, we're going to take a really heavy pot like this Le Creuset Dutch oven here, and we're going to take 2 sticks of butter, cut up 1 bag of milk chocolate chips, and then 5 large Hershey bars here. They're about 4.5 ounces each. Break them apart in the package, and then add them to your pot. Then we're going to set that aside, and we'll move on to our next step. Step 2, we're going to take a separate pot. This should be another large pot. You really want to have a lot of room at the top because it can splatter and burn you. So take 1 can of evaporated milk and then add in 4 cups of sugar. And then we're going to add in 2/3 of a bag of mini marshmallows at room temperature. Stir that really well, and then we're going to bring it to a boil. Once it's boiling, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla and incorporate well by stirring it. Now we want to let it boil lightly for about 7 minutes. You may need to adjust your heat to keep it at a light boil and not going too crazy in that pot because it can jump out and it can burn you. Make sure you're stirring it constantly during the 7 minutes too, because if you burn that marshmallow, it can really upset the entire chemistry of the candy and your fudge might seize up. So make sure you're stirring it constantly, keeping it at a light boil, and then once you're done, turn off the heat and we're ready to pour. Now this is really hot, so be careful. Use your oven mitts and carefully pour it over your mixture of butter and chocolate, and you want to stir really, really well until it's smooth and loses its shine. You just have to trust the process here because at first it's going to look really grainy and lumpy. You may have butter separating out. Trust the process. Keep stirring it. It's going to be a big arm workout. I've had batches that have taken me as long as 30 minutes of stirring to come together. So just keep stirring it and then you'll get this beautiful glossy shine and it has come together. It's so gorgeous right now, but we need to keep stirring until it loses its shine. So keep going until it has a little bit of a dull sheen and then it's ready to go. And now we are ready to add in our roasted peanuts and our frozen marshmallows. It's important that the marshmallows are frozen because that will maintain their integrity and their shape in the final product. If they're not frozen, they might melt and fall into that fudge and you won't have that Rocky Road finishing touch. Now that it's fully incorporated, you can pour into your prepared pans. I've lined mine with some parchment paper. Let it cool and you're ready to cut. I generally like to cut these into larger shareable portions. You don't want this to dry out because you want that fudgy, gooey goodness. So make sure that you're quickly cutting it and then wrapping it right away in some sort of airtight wrapping. I use some saran wrap for these portions here. Once they're all wrapped up, you're ready to share and enjoy.